Life often feels complicated. So many voices, so many demands. But here's something we often forget. A better life doesn't come from having everything. It comes from knowing what to hold on to and what to let go. You can't control the world, but you can control how you live in it. Not with force, but with awareness. With a few simple rules that make all the difference. If you're ready, here are 10 quiet rules you can live by to find more peace, more clarity, and more meaning. 1. Take full responsibility for your life. There comes a moment in every person's life when they must stop pointing outward and start looking inward. We've all been hurt. We've all been overlooked, misunderstood, rejected. Life has handed us things we didn't choose. Parents who failed us, friends who betrayed us, systems that seemed rigged from the start. And yet, there's a quiet truth waiting beneath all that pain. You are still responsible for what you do next. Not for what happened, but for what you choose now, what you allow, what you continue, and what you decide to become. The Stoics believed that we don't control the world, only our reactions to it. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This isn't just philosophy, it's power. Because as long as you blame, you give away your strength. You hand over your peace to people who never deserved it. Taking responsibility doesn't mean blaming yourself for things beyond your control. It means refusing to stay stuck in the role of a victim. It means saying, "This may not be my fault, but it is now my problem, and I will face it." It's easier to complain, easier to wait for someone to save you, easier to drown in resentment. But every moment you wait, you lose another day of your life. No one is coming to fix it for you. Not your parents, not your government, not your partner, not your boss. This is your life, your story, and the pen is in your hand. Some people spend decades blaming the same person. They carry the same grudge for years. But what has it brought them? What has that bitterness built? Responsibility is not a burden. It's freedom. Because once you accept that your future is in your hands, you can begin to shape it. You can build. You can grow. You can leave what hurts and choose what heals. No more excuses. No more, if only. Just this moment, and the next, and a quiet discipline to move forward. You don't need anyone's permission. You don't need the past to change. You need only one decision: to take ownership, even when it's hard. When you do that, something shifts inside. You stop waiting. You stop complaining. You stop hoping for the world to change. And you start becoming the kind of person who changes their world. This is what Stoicism offers. Not a cold detachment, but a courageous clarity. A refusal to hand over your agency to fate or to fear. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Whatever stands in your way right now is your path. You don't need to go around it. You need to go through it. With your head held high, with your values intact, with your responsibility claimed. You might fall. You might make mistakes. But every fall you take with ownership is a step forward. Every mistake owned becomes a lesson earned. This is how we grow. Not by blaming, but by becoming. Reflections. Ask yourself quietly, where have I been waiting for someone else to take the lead in my life? Where have I blamed instead of building? Where have I given my power away? By refusing to take full responsibility, you can take it back. Not all at once, but choice by choice, breath by breath, And when you do, you'll notice something. The world might still be chaotic, but inside you, there is order, there is peace, there is strength, because you have chosen to take full responsibility for your life. 2. Protect your peace, even if it means letting people go. Not everyone who walks with you is meant to stay. Not every relationship is meant to last. And not every connection is healthy, no matter how long it's been there. This truth is uncomfortable, but necessary, because at some point in your life, you must choose peace over pleasing. You must choose clarity over chaos. You must choose inner calm, even if it costs you company. The Stoics taught that your inner state is the only thing that truly belongs to you. Epictetus said, "Keep your will in harmony with nature, and you will be free." What he meant was this: stop clinging to people who disturb your soul. Stop tolerating energy that drains you, and stop betraying your own peace just to keep someone else comfortable. There are people in your life who love your light, but only when it shines on them. People who respect you only when you're silent. People who want your presence, but not your boundaries. And if you're not careful, you will start to shrink just to stay close to them. You'll laugh at things that hurt. You'll say yes when you mean no. You'll bend so much, you won't recognize yourself anymore. This isn't love. This isn't loyalty. This is slow self-abandonment. Protecting your peace doesn't mean you stop loving others. It means you love yourself enough to walk away when the cost is your sanity. It means you no longer keep people in your life just because they've been there for a long time. Time is not a reason to stay. Mutual growth is. Mutual respect is. Mutual peace is. Sometimes, the most loving thing you can do is let someone go. Let them live their path and reclaim your own. You don't need to fight. You don't need to hate. You simply need to say, "I choose my peace," even if it means losing your approval, even if it means standing alone. The Stoics believed that virtue was the highest good, not popularity, not comfort, not attachment. They trained themselves to remain calm, even when the world around them was loud, and sometimes that meant stepping away from the noise that wore a familiar face. It's okay to outgrow people. It's okay to change. It's okay to protect your boundaries, even if someone calls you selfish, because real peace is quiet. It doesn't need permission. It doesn't need applause. It just needs space to breathe. And sometimes, to give that peace a place to live, you have to clear the room. You might lose a few people, but you'll gain something greater. Yourself, your voice, your mind, your center. And once you find that again, you'll wonder why you ever gave it up for anyone. Reflections. Pause for a moment. Breathe in slowly. Ask yourself, who or what have I been holding on to out of fear, not love? Who keeps interrupting my peace while I keep giving them one more chance? Where in my life have I betrayed myself just to avoid disappointing someone else? It's not cruel to protect your peace. It's wise, it's necessary, and it's deeply loving. You are allowed to set limits. You are allowed to say no more. You are allowed to choose yourself without guilt, because in the silence that follows, you'll hear something beautiful, your own soul coming home. 3. Speak less, observe more. In a world that never stops talking, the quiet ones begin to see what others miss. Everywhere you go, people are speaking, explaining, defending, reacting, trying to be heard. But very few are listening. Very few are watching. Very few are paying attention. The more you speak, the more you reveal your thoughts, but the more you observe, the more you understand the world around you. There is a deep wisdom in holding your tongue, not because you're afraid, but because you've learned that most situations do not require your reaction. They require your awareness. The Stoics practiced this daily. They trained themselves not to speak impulsively, but to reflect, to wait, to respond only when necessary, and with intention. Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." That's not just clever, that's powerful. Because when you listen deeply, you begin to notice everything. The tone people use, the words they avoid, the tension behind their smiles, the truth behind their silence. You begin to hear not just what is said, but what is meant, and sometimes what is hidden. Observation is a form of intelligence. It gives you clarity. It helps you navigate life without being pulled into every storm. It keeps you grounded, even when the room is spinning. When you speak too much, you lose your center. You get caught in arguments that lead nowhere. You waste energy trying to prove things that didn't need proving in the first place. But when you speak less, you conserve your power. You learn who is worth your time and who reveals themselves simply by the way they act when you're silent. Sometimes, silence is your best defense, your greatest signal of strength. You don't need to respond to every insult. You don't need to justify every boundary. You don't need to explain yourself to people who are not trying to understand you. The one who speaks less often sees more because their mind is not clouded by noise. They are not reacting. They are observing. And in that stillness, they grow, they learn, they evolve. Speak when it adds value. Speak when it brings truth. But never speak just to fill the air. The world has enough noise already. You can learn more from 1 minute of observation than from an hour of argument. You can learn more from listening to someone's actions than from all the words they say. So practice this. Enter a room and say nothing. Watch, listen. Notice who dominates the conversation. Notice who avoids eye contact. Notice who listens and who doesn't. The truth reveals itself to the ones who are patient enough to see it. Reflections. Take a moment now and ask yourself, do I listen to respond, or do I listen to understand? Have I been speaking out of habit or out of purpose? What might I learn if I paused before reacting? What might I see if I gave silence a chance? You don't need to say much to be wise. You don't need to be loud to be heard. You just need to be present, quiet, and aware, because those who speak less often understand more, and in that understanding, you will find your peace. 4. Say what you mean and mean what you say. There's something rare in this world, something simple but powerful. It's when a person speaks and you know they mean it. No masks, no sugarcoating, no double meanings, just truth, said with clarity, held with conviction. We live in a time where words are everywhere, but meaning is scattered. People say things to impress, to manipulate, to avoid confrontation, to gain approval, to escape responsibility, but rarely do they speak from a place of inner alignment. Rarely do they speak as if their words matter. The Stoics believed that integrity in speech was essential to a virtuous life. To say only what is necessary, to say it clearly, and to make sure their actions reflect their words. Marcus Aurelius wrote, Never be caught pretending to be anything other than what you are. This includes your speech, your promises, your tone. When you speak without meaning what you say, you confuse others, but more importantly, you disconnect from yourself. You start to blur the lines between honesty and performance, between presence and pretense. But when you speak with intention, you create trust, not just with others, but within yourself. Because every time you say something you don't mean, you weaken your own foundation. You chip away at your inner strength. But every time you speak truthfully, even if it's difficult, you reinforce your own integrity. Saying what you mean doesn't mean being harsh. It doesn't mean being brutal. It means being honest, with kindness, but without compromise. It means saying yes when you mean yes, and no when you mean no. It means not over-promising, not pretending, not saying things just to keep the peace on the surface, while chaos builds underneath. When your words match your values, you walk lighter, you sleep better, you become someone others can rely on, and someone you can respect in the mirror. In Stoicism, this alignment between thought, word, and action is part of what it means to live a good life. A life of virtue, a life of coherence. Let your "I'll be there" actually mean you will show up. Let your "I'm okay" not be a mask for a pain you refuse to acknowledge. Let your "I love you" not just be a phrase, but a commitment. Mean it, live it, and if you're not ready to mean it, don't say it. Silence is better than empty words. A pause is better than a lie. Don't promise when your heart isn't in it. Don't agree when your gut says no. Don't flatter when you don't admire. Don't apologize if you don't believe you're wrong. Because every word you speak, whether you notice or not, builds your inner structure. And if your words are weak, your foundation will eventually crack. But when your words are clean, your life becomes lighter, stronger, more stable. You don't need to say much. You just need to say what's real, and then follow through. People will trust you not because you're perfect, but because you're consistent, because your words are rooted in something deeper. You don't speak to impress. You speak to express, to reveal your truth, to stand in it. This isn't just communication, it's character. Reflections. Now ask yourself, gently, when was the last time I said something just to avoid conflict? When was the last time I promised something, but knew I wouldn't follow through? Where have I been speaking out of habit instead of truth? You don't need to have all the right words. You just need to have honest ones. Speak slowly. Speak clearly. Speak from the core of who you are. Say what you mean, and mean what you say. Because when your words and your soul finally match, you'll feel it. Peace, integrity, alignment. Not just in what you say, but in how you live. 5. Invest in depth, not in drama. There is a kind of exhaustion that doesn't come from work. It comes from being surrounded by shallow people and meaningless noise. Drama is everywhere, online, in conversations, in families, at work. It thrives on attention, on reaction, on emotional chaos. But what it lacks is depth, substance, truth. When you live in drama, you're constantly distracted. You're always reacting. You're pulled into stories that aren't yours, battles that don't matter, and circles that go nowhere. But when you begin to value depth, your life changes. You stop gossiping. You stop chasing attention. You stop wasting time on people who feed off conflict. but starve when things get real. You start craving silence, meaningful conversations, real growth, things that nourish the soul, not just stimulate the ego. The Stoics were not interested in drama. They were interested in truth. They believed in asking the hard questions, living the examined life, facing the discomfort of honesty, instead of escaping into theatrics. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." In other words, don't get lost in talking about life. Live it. Don't perform for the crowd. Grow in the quiet. Don't react to every little thing. Choose what's worth your energy, because attention is currency, and wherever you place it, you are investing. So ask yourself, what are you investing in? Are you spending your time on people who always bring problems, but never bring solutions? Are you drawn to chaos because it distracts you from the silence you're afraid to face? Depth takes courage. Drama takes nothing. Depth demands self-awareness. Drama feeds on avoidance. To live a deep life, you must first stop chasing shallow things. You must stop seeking approval from people who don't even know who they are. You must stop creating problems just to feel something. You must stop mistaking chaos for intensity and start learning that peace is the real strength. Real growth is quiet. It happens when no one's watching. It happens in your reading, in your journaling, in your uncomfortable self-reflection, in your still mornings and hard conversations. It doesn't look impressive on the outside, but it changes everything on the inside. When you invest in depth, you find people who don't just talk, they listen. You find friends who don't flatter, they challenge you to grow. You find purpose that doesn't scream, it whispers. You find that your best days have nothing to do with drama. They're filled with peace, clarity, presence. You no longer need to be entertained. You need to be engaged with your soul, with your values, with your mission. So start filtering your world. Choose stillness over noise. Choose conversations that build you over arguments that drain you. Stop performing. Start becoming. This is how you build a meaningful life, one quiet choice at a time. Reflections. Take a quiet breath and ask yourself honestly, where in my life am I still drawn to drama? What kind of attention have I been seeking? What kind of people have I been surrounding myself with? Am I investing in depth, or am I just reacting to noise? Choose what's rare. Choose what's real. You don't need more stimulation. You need more stillness. You don't need louder voices. You need clearer values. Walk away from the fire, if it only burns and never warms. Walk toward the people who speak truth without spectacle. And most of all, choose the kind of life that grows deeper, even when no one's watching. 6. Don't chase, align. There's a difference between movement and direction, between running and arriving, between chasing and aligning. Many people spend their lives chasing success, chasing love, chasing attention, chasing validation. They chase opportunities that aren't meant for them. They chase people who don't respect them. They chase images of life that were sold to them, but never truly chosen. And the more they chase, the more they lose themselves. Because chasing begins with the belief that you are incomplete, that something out there will finally make you enough. But alignment is different. Alignment is not about running after anything. It's about becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts what is meant for them. It's about being rooted, centered, clear, so that what enters your life comes through resonance, not desperation. The Stoics knew this well. They didn't teach people to grasp and cling. They taught presence. They taught clarity of values. They taught inner stillness. That creates outer direction. Epictetus once said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." In other words, know who you are, act in line with it, and let the rest unfold. When you chase, you compromise. You mold yourself to fit into places that were never yours. You overextend. You people please. You say yes when you mean no, just to be liked, just to be accepted. But when you align, you draw the right things in naturally, not by force, but by frequency. You no longer beg for love. You become love. You no longer chase status. You build quiet mastery. You no longer seek validation. You live by your own values. It doesn't mean you stop taking action. It means you take the right actions from the right place. Not fear, not lack, but clarity. Chasing is loud, exhausting, unstable. Alignment is calm, sustainable, peaceful. You don't need to post everything, say everything, prove everything. You just need to become what you truly value. You'll find that some people stop calling. Some opportunities pass you by. That's okay. What isn't aligned isn't lost. It's released. Because when you stop chasing, you start trusting. You trust the process. You trust your path. You trust yourself. The Stoics called this living according to nature. They believed that peace comes not from controlling everything, but from walking in harmony with who you are and what is within your control. And when you do this, you no longer feel behind. You no longer feel the urge to prove or impress. You feel quiet, clear, capable. You don't need to run anymore. You just need to return to yourself. And when you live from that place, what's meant for you doesn't need to be chased. It recognizes you, and it stays. Reflections. Take a breath. Be honest with yourself. What have I been chasing, and why? Have I been acting from clarity or from fear? Have I been molding myself just to be chosen? What would happen if I stopped chasing? Who would I be if I chose alignment instead? You don't need to run anymore. You don't need to force. You just need to become. Stop chasing people. Stop chasing outcomes. Stop chasing perfection. Instead, align your actions with your values. Align your habits with your purpose. Align your life with your truth. And watch what finds you when you stop chasing. 7. Detach from what you can't control. There is a quiet kind of suffering that comes not from life itself, but from trying to control things that were never ours to control. You can feel it in your chest, in that restless need to fix everything, to make people act a certain way, to make outcomes unfold exactly how you imagined. You try to manage how others think of you. You try to plan every detail. You worry about what could go wrong. You play out conversations in your head that may never happen. And all of this exhausts your soul. The Stoics called this the root of unnecessary pain. Trying to control the uncontrollable. Fighting battles in your mind against things that belong to fate, not you. Epictetus said it simply: some things are up to us and some things are not. That one sentence can free you if you live it. What's up to you? Your choices, your effort, your perspective, your response. What's not up to you? other people, the past, the future, random events, judgment, recognition. We spend so much of our lives clinging, gripping tightly to how we think things should be. We hold on to people who want to leave. We overthink problems we can't solve. We fear outcomes we can't predict. But all that fear, all that pressure, is unnecessary. You can let go, and you must let go if you want peace. Detachment is not coldness. It's not apathy. It's not giving up. It's understanding that your job is to show up, do your part, and release the rest. You still care. You still love. You still try. But you stop controlling. You stop forcing. You stop assuming responsibility for things that were never yours. When you detach, you breathe again. You sleep better. You stop reacting to every little thing. You stop tying your emotions to outcomes you can't determine. You realize that your worth is not based on results. Your peace is not based on other people. Your power comes from letting go, not holding tighter. This is why the Stoics practiced negative visualization, imagining the loss of things they loved, not to make themselves suffer, but to remind themselves none of it was ever truly theirs to own. Relationships, status, comfort, health, even life itself. And yet, in that awareness, they found deep gratitude, because when you stop assuming control, you start appreciating what you have. You stop demanding. You start receiving. Detachment doesn't mean you stop setting goals. It means you stop tying your identity to them. It doesn't mean you stop loving people. It means you stop trying to manage their emotions. It doesn't mean you stop dreaming. It means you stop obsessing over timelines and expectations. It's a shift in posture, from gripping to opening. You show up fully, but you hold outcomes lightly. You love deeply, but you respect freedom. You work hard, but you surrender the result. This is how you find calm in a chaotic world. You stop trying to control the ocean and learn to ride the wave. Reflections. Now ask yourself, quietly, what am I holding on to that I was never meant to control? Whose opinion have I been trying to change? What outcome have I been obsessing over? What fear am I feeding? By refusing to let go, you don't need to fix everything. You don't need to predict everything. You don't need to carry what isn't yours. Let go, not in anger, not in defeat, but in wisdom. Breathe, do what is yours to do, and release the rest. Because when you detach from what you can't control, you return to what you can. Your thoughts, your actions, your values, your peace, and that is more than enough. 8. Build habits, not hopes. Hope feels good. It's light. It's warm. It gives you something to dream about. But hope, by itself, won't build anything. You can hope for change. You can hope to get better. You can hope for love, peace, success, discipline, strength. But without action, hope becomes a waiting room, a soft place to sit, while nothing really happens. The Stoics didn't reject hope completely, but they didn't worship it either. They knew that a good life isn't built on what you wish for. It's built on what you do, day after day, especially when it's not exciting. Seneca said, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." And preparation comes from habit. You don't rise to the level of your hopes. You fall to the level of your routines. It's easy to dream of greatness. It's much harder to show up at 5 a.m., to repeat the same practice, to write the page, to go to the gym, to sit in stillness, to say no to distractions, to be consistent when no one is watching. But this is where transformation happens. Hope whispers, habits build. When you rely on hope, you wait. You wait for motivation. You wait for the right time. You wait for someone to come save you. But when you build habits, you stop waiting. You start becoming. You don't hope for clarity. You create it through reflection. You don't hope for strength. You earn it through repetition. You don't hope for discipline. You forge it through daily choices. The Stoics believed in effort over outcome. They knew you can't control results, but you can control your preparation. That's why Marcus Aurelius would remind himself each morning to expect difficulty, to meet it with reason, and to return to virtue. They weren't obsessed with motivation. They were committed to rhythm. Modern life encourages us to chase intensity, quick wins, big changes, instant results. But habit is about consistency. It's slow, it's boring, it's repetitive, but it works. You brush your teeth not because it's exciting, but because it's necessary. Treat your goals the same way. Want to be more focused? Don't just hope for fewer distractions. Turn off your phone. Set boundaries. Meditate daily. Want to be more patient? Don't just read about it. Practice stillness. Pause before speaking. Observe your reactions. Want to change your life? Change what you do, not just what you wish for. Most people set goals in January. They're filled with hope. But by February, the gym is empty. The journals are blank. The old habits return. Why? Because they hoped for change, but didn't build the system to support it. Hope without habit is fantasy, but habit, even without hope, builds something real. So don't just visualize your ideal future. Design your days. Simplify your choices. Repeat the work. Even when you're tired, even when it's quiet, even when it doesn't feel like progress. Because small actions, done daily, become who you are. The Stoics believed that character is shaped, not in moments of crisis, but in moments of routine. It's not the big decisions, it's the small, repeated ones. Who are you becoming? Based on your current habits, are your actions taking you closer to your values, or farther? Are your routines helping you build peace, or just maintain comfort? These are the questions that matter, and the answers are not in your intentions. They're in your patterns. Reflections. Take a breath and ask yourself gently, what am I hoping for that I haven't built a system for? Where am I waiting when I could be acting? What daily habit could I start today to align with the life I want to live? You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. You don't need to be inspired every day. You just need to keep showing up. Because in the end, it's not what you hope for that defines you. It's what you do over and over again. Hope may open the door, but habit walks you through it, one quiet step at a time. 9. Surround yourself with people who want to grow. Growth is a personal journey, but it's never walked entirely alone. You can meditate. You can journal. You can read every wise book ever written. But if you're surrounded by people who are stagnant, people who don't care to grow, people who mock change or avoid truth, your progress will slow. Your energy will drain. Your path will feel heavier than it needs to. The Stoics understood this deeply. They didn't isolate themselves from the world. They chose carefully. They walked among people, but they guarded their company, because the people around you, their values, their habits, their conversations, They shape the atmosphere you live in. Seneca wrote, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve." In other words, grow with others, or risk being pulled away from your own growth. This doesn't mean you abandon everyone who isn't perfect. It means you become conscious of what kind of energy you allow near your mind, because some people will inspire you. They'll ask deeper questions. They'll challenge your thinking. They'll call out your potential when you've forgotten it yourself. But others, they'll scoff at self-improvement. They'll mock your silence. They'll feel threatened by your discipline. They'll try to keep you where you used to be, because your growth reminds them of what they're avoiding. And if you're not careful, you'll shrink again. You'll laugh at things that don't feel right. You'll abandon goals just to fit in. You'll trade your evolution for short-term acceptance. But growth is not about comfort. It's about direction. Surround yourself with people who are moving forward. They don't have to be successful by the world's standards. They just have to be awake, reflective, open to feedback, willing to change, willing to do the work. You'll know them by how they speak, not just about the world, but about themselves. You'll hear it in their honesty. You'll feel it in their curiosity. They're not perfect, but they're trying, and so are you. That's the kind of environment where real growth happens, where you can be honest about your flaws without being judged, where progress is celebrated, not envied, where questions are welcomed, not mocked, where values are more important than status. The Stoics believed that friendship was not just about pleasure. It was about virtue, about becoming better together. That's the standard. If someone is always dragging you into drama, gossip, complaining, negativity, ask yourself, is this who I want to become? Because you will become like the people you're around. Not all at once, but gradually, through jokes, through habits, through silence. That's why choosing your circle is not just a social choice, it's a spiritual one. Find people who make you feel more honest, more grounded, more alive. And if you can't find them yet, become that person for someone else. Start the kind of conversations you're craving. Live the example you want to see. Your energy will attract what your soul is ready for. But you must clear the space. You must stop entertaining what no longer aligns. You deserve to be around people who don't just tolerate your growth. They expect it. They support it. They grow with you. Because in the end, you don't rise alone. You rise together. Reflections. Now ask yourself with honesty, who around me inspires my growth? Who makes me feel more conscious, more alive, more accountable to who I want to be? And who do I keep around just because I'm afraid of being alone? Are my relationships rooted in virtue or just in habit? You don't have to cut people off with cruelty. You just need to walk your path and notice who chooses to walk beside you. Choose people who reflect your values, who challenge your complacency, who stay honest, especially when it's hard. Because when you surround yourself with people who want to grow, you begin to live in an atmosphere of courage, honesty, and transformation. And in that atmosphere, you don't just survive, you rise. 10. Live today as if it's your last, but plan as if you'll live forever. Life is short, but it's also long. And the paradox is this: you must learn to live as if you could die tomorrow, while preparing your soul, your work, and your path as if you might live for decades. Most people live at the extremes. Some live only for the moment, reckless, unthinking, chasing pleasure, avoiding responsibility. Others live entirely in the future, so consumed by plans and worries that they forget to breathe. But true wisdom lies in the balance. The Stoics were masters of this balance. They reminded themselves daily, you could die at any moment, and because of that, every moment is sacred. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. This wasn't meant to scare. It was meant to awaken, to bring focus, to strip away the nonsense, to remind you, nothing is promised, so be here now. But at the same time, they also believed in structure, in purpose, in living with discipline and foresight. Seneca said, life is long if you know how to use it. So how do you live both truths? How do you live today fully, but prepare wisely? You live today like it matters. You don't waste it on petty arguments. You don't scroll away your hours. You don't speak carelessly. You don't delay kindness. You don't hold back love. You say what needs to be said. You do what aligns with your values. You move as if this breath could be your last. But you also plant seeds. You write the book that may take years. You save the money for your children's future. You train your body, not just for today's energy, but for tomorrow's strength. You build relationships slowly, brick by brick. You stay committed to a practice that may not show results this week, but will change your life over decades. You live in full awareness of death's nearness, but you don't let it turn you frantic. You let it make you present, and you prepare, not in fear, but in love. Because planning is not about control. It's about care. Care for your future self. Care for those who depend on you. Care for the mission you're here to serve. The Stoics saw time as something sacred, not to be feared, not to be wasted, but to be honored. They would rise early, reflect often, make peace with death, so they could live with courage. Imagine waking up each day with two thoughts. This could be my last sunrise, and what small thing can I build today that will last beyond me? This mindset changes everything. You stop taking people for granted. You stop waiting for the perfect moment. You stop wasting time chasing things that don't matter, and you start living with clarity, with presence, with meaning, and you start preparing with patience, with wisdom, with care. Most of life is ordinary. That's where it happens. Not in the dramatic moments, but in the daily decisions. What you eat, what you say, how you respond, where you give your time. These are the brushstrokes that paint your entire life. So live today with your full heart, but plant habits, relationships, systems that will carry you through the long road ahead. This is how you honor both truths. That time is precious and also abundant if used wisely. Reflections. Now pause, take a breath, and ask yourself, if today were your last, would you be proud of how you lived it? What words would you say now? If you knew you'd never get another chance, what tiny thing could you begin today that your future self would thank you for? You don't need to live in fear. You don't need to race through your life. You just need to be awake to what matters, to what lasts, to what's within your control. Live today as if it's your last, because one day it will be. But build and prepare as if your soul is here to serve for many years, because what you plant today might grow into someone else's shade. So live fully and build wisely. That's the Stoic path. That's the better life. Those were 10 simple rules, not the kind they teach in school, but the kind that shape your life, quietly, deeply, every single day. Take full responsibility for your life. Protect your peace, even if it costs you certain people. Speak less. Observe more. Say what you mean, and mean what you say. Let go of the noise. Build something real. Don't chase. Align. Detach from what you can't control. Build habits, not just hope. Surround yourself with people who want to grow. Live each day like it's your last. But prepare, as if you'll live forever. A better life is not about being perfect. It's about being conscious and honest with every step you take.